welcome to Motosumo. My name is Ben. I'm here to take you through your half an hour fast and fun class. This is going to be a good one, team. It's going to be sweaty. It's going to be good, but we're ready to go, team. But we're going to start the way we always start, down in that resistance 0. Then we just add a little bit of resistance onto that. Once you've found that touch of resistance, we get moving. That is your resistance 1, team. And we get ready to go in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
I'm saying let's go.
So resistance 1 is your lowest resistance that we're going to hit until we get to that cool down. So this is the lowest it's going to be for basically your whole class, guys. This is your resistance 1. We take it up to resistance 2, 3, and 4 later on. But your resistance is basically how heavy it is underfoot, how heavy it is on those legs, team. And remember, 4 is that super heavy resistance all the way up for that climb, team. On the other side is your cadence. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you have your cadence meter. That is those numbers or those colors. So I'm either going to give you a color or I'm going to give you a set of numbers to work between. Let's go for 30 seconds. Little sprint. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Heading up to that yellow zone for me, team. That's 90 to 110. 90 to 110 as we head up there.
Come on your body, come on your body. You must be crazy. Turning me down like that is pretty insane.
10 seconds. No need to go too crazy for now. This is just building up into it. 3, in 2, in 1. Slowing it down, nice. Just putting it into that green zone for me. 70 to 90. Remember, when I say sort of relax, when I say cool it down, I mean it, just pulling it back on that pace. We don't stop. 3, ready, 2, same again, 1. Let's do this. Adopting that position immediately of that sort of sprint position. So with those elbows in, with those shoulders rolled back, you were driving it forward all the way. Yellow zone again. 10.
Come on your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets.
3, 2, 1. We're gonna go for that once more. Now I want us to aim in those hundreds, maybe even that red zone. Red zone is beyond 110. Final one here before we change resistance. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Now I want to see a bit of speed into it. Come on. Loving it, yes, D-man.
Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come on, your body. Come on, your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets.
3, 2, 1. Slowing it down. Nice stuff. We take it up to resistance 2 as we come into that new track. Remember, your resistance 2 should be a little bit sticky, a little bit tougher. And we're going to go through that same thing. We're going to go 3 of these in a row, team, just getting used to this. Now we're aiming for about 95 to 105. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. D-man, I hope you're appreciating this tan I've got here. As you very well know, this is not from the English sun. Had a nice little trip away. Got some real sun. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowing it down. Nice stuff. Putting it back into that green zone. We go for that again. Maybe aiming slightly more towards those hundreds. Again, we go in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's do it. Fast and fun isn't all about going super fast. It's more about that sort of high intensity interval training. So it's about raising up that heart rate and then bringing it down. Loving it, hold it there, 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nice, little 15-second break. Then we see if we can get it into that red zone again. It doesn't matter if you don't get it into that red zone. We're just aiming for those sort of higher hundreds, maybe even into those low red zones because we are in that resistance. 2, 3, 2, 1, let's go. Loving that pace you've got going on there. Give me another 10. Four, 3, 2, 1, slowing it down. Now we go 15 seconds in resistance 2, 15 seconds in resistance 1. So we drop down that resistance halfway through. 3, 2, are you ready? Let's go. 15 seconds in resistance 2. 15 seconds in resistance 1, so we drop it down, make it lighter. Three, 2, 1, resistance 1. Even though that music's dropped, keep the energy up. Two, 1, slowing it down, nice stuff. Love seeing it getting into that red zone. Now we're going to do the opposite, so keep those legs moving. You can pop it into that green zone, but only in resistance 1. Take it up. 3, 2, the opposite. 1, let's go. 15 in 1, 15 in 2.
Now gonna make this okay. Feeling like a rock star, 'cause tonight I'm getting out of line and it's alright. Feeling like a
3, 2, 1, take it up.
just squeeze your way in this movie. Feeling like a James Dean and I know it. Feeling like a rock star.
Hold it. 2, 1. We do the same again. 2 to 3. We got the drop. 3, 2, 1, let's go. No, 15 seconds in resistance 2, 15 seconds in resistance 3. 3, 2, 1, and that resistance 1 is naturally going to slow you down a bit. Try to stay close to about 95, but you will naturally slow down. 3, 2, 1, rest. I'm feeling this one. We do the same thing, we go up to that resistance 4. Again, first time hitting that resistance 4. 3, 2, 1. I'm not messing around with these breaks. I'm not treating them very long, but that's what this is all about. Again, it's all about just attacking it, about going for it. Resistance 4, in 3, in 2, in 1, let's go. Resistance 4, yes, Alan. Oh, that's heavy. That should be mad heavy. Remember, the heaviest pretty much your bike can go. 3, 2, 1, rest there. We're gonna do one more of those, D-man. We're gonna take it from 4 to 3. 3, 2, 1, let's go. So right now, resistance 4, 15 in resistance 4, 15 in resistance 3. 3, 2, 1, resistance 3, let's go. Keeping that pace, holding on to it. 4, 3, 2, 1, resistance 2. Spin those legs out, get those legs moving. Huge effort there. Resistance 2 to pop it into that green zone for me. Lovely stuff. All right, what we do now is we head out onto that racetrack. That is your 10-minute warm-up done. Quite an intense warm-up, but that is what Fuss and Fun is all about. Heading out to that racetrack, a 1-minute race coming on in resistance 2. We go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this.
What's happening? It's just me, my guys, I'm got no rap friends.
So it's a minute, so it's longer than what we've been doing so far. This is just about you locking into this race, keeping that form super strong and driving it forward. 3, 10 seconds. Push it on. Finish the race strong. In 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. Nice. Keep those legs moving. We keep those legs moving. Oh, D-man, hitting that 700, bang on. That is what we like to see. Loving it. You can take that. That bad boy's for you. Cool. Now we head into 1 minute sections. That was a little practice of a 1 minute section. We're going to go between doing 30 seconds, just similar to what we did just then. I'm going to pop a little timer on so we know how long we got. In 30 seconds we'll start. We're going to do 30 seconds in resistance 1, 30 seconds in resistance 3. So we're missing out resistance 2, and then we do the same 2 to 4. So down to resistance 1 for me. At that halfway mark, we add it on and we go for that resistance 3. 15-second breaks in between. This is going to be tough, I'm telling you. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 30 seconds resistance 1. So should be hitting those hundreds nice and easy, maybe even red zone. 10 seconds. Let's do it on the drop actually. Resistance 3, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So in resistance 3 now, 85 to 95. You should not be able to get much higher than this. Remember, we went up, we made that big jump up to that resistance 3. 85 to 95, just holding on. That big difference between that super light resistance 1 and grinding out the resistance 3. 3, 2, 1, nice. Put it back a little bit to keep those legs moving into green zone, into resistance 2. We do the same thing, 2 to 4. 2 to 4. 3, 2, 1, let's go. D-Man Motosumo. Guys, we get a 30-second break after this one, because this one is tough. So right now you should be above 95, because we are in resistance 2 now. Trying to push above 95. 10 seconds, we go to resistance 4. Again on the drop. 3, 2, 1. All the way up, resistance 4. Team, you're aiming for about 75 to 85 now. This is green zone central. This is green zone city. Oh. I would never take our love for granted. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Resistance 1. How tough is that? 1 down. We do that whole thing twice more. We do that whole thing twice more. Oh, D-Man, don't you worry, we got it. Okay, resistance 1 to 3. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. So right now, your resistance 1, super easy. Heading up into those hundreds. What tune? Nice try, my man. You got it. Love that red zone. Resistance 3 coming up. 3, 2, 1. 85 to 95. You'll know when you hit it, because those brakes are slammed on, especially compared to that resistance one. Three, two, one. Nice, resistance two, drop it down. Now we go to 2 to 4. Remember, once again, you've got that longer break after this. So we make the most of it. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Aiming for 95 plus now. But then we know what happens in this resistance 4. Remember, you're basically just adding on as much resistance as you can, and you're holding the heaviest, but also the fastest you can hold in that heavy resistance for 30 seconds only. Motosumo. 3, 2, 1. Keep that core strong, keep everything engaged, driving it forward. That's the one, that's tough. Three, 2, 1. Back to resistance 1 for me. Back to that resistance 1. Sick stuff. Ten seconds. 1, 3. In 3, in 2, in 1. Let's do it. Speed with this, nice and easy. Hundreds. Can you do it? Resistance 3 coming up. In 4, in 3, in 2, in 1. Let's go. 85 to 95. We know where we should be sitting now. We know the sort of thing we're aiming for to jump straight up there.
You're keeping me on. Yeah, I'm strapped in, stuck in a song you can't turn off.
In 3, 2, 1. All right. Drop it down, resistance 2. One more of these. One more of these before we mix it up. 3, 2, 2 to 4, 1. Let's go. Good. Remember, we can add that little bit more, that touch more speed in this one. Resistance 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it, that's it, that's it. Ten seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. As we also come into that final 10 minutes. That was a huge effort. Let's take it back down to that resistance 2. The legs are feeling that. The legs are feeling that. But you're doing so well. Those little celebrations, the fact that we came into that final 10 minutes, team. Resistance 2. We go back on the racetrack. Let's see if we can match what we did before. Racetrack in 4, 3, 2, 1, resistance 2, remember, let's go.
On a bull run, got no words, no, cause we're so young. We were so young. We're in your car, singing crazy to the radio. I remember the coffee was still low. Had no words, no, we were so young. Now you're long gone.
Halfway. Keep that pace going, keep that pace strong. Ten. 3, 2, 1. Oh, lovely stuff. Let's check them scores once again. D-Man, how do you reckon you did? Got some big numbers on there. 720. Yeah. That's what we like to see. 20 meters improvement. Cakes all round. So strong there. We haven't stood up yet. So that's where we're going now. Gonna give me a little 1 minute. Climb. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hitting those 60s. We don't need to go mad quite yet. We don't need to go crazy quite yet. 60 to 70 right now. Driving up this hill. As we come into your final section, which is going to involve everything heavy, which is not what you want at the end of a fast and fun. You are that superhero. Get in that mentality, because that is where you want to be right now. Super heavy, remember, anytime we're climbing and hitting those 60s, we're in those 60s because we're forced to be in those 60s, because you almost can't go any faster. 5 seconds, sit it down for 15 only. 3, 2, 1. Go as slow as you want. 45-second climb coming up. Ready. And 4, 3, 2, 1. 45 seconds. Let's go. We're up at the saddle once again. It's super heavy, but you can pick up that pace just a touch maybe, you know? Pick up that intensity a bit. I know these breaks are only short between them.
I don't wait it no. Puzzle piece of cloth, baby, I don't even wait it no. Yeah, keep that old buggy no more. She walk, but you know the time is up, and we gotta go. She got no real vibe back in time. I don't wait it no. Puzzle piece of cloth, baby, I don't even wait it no. Money can't anything. If we get another goal, need your pay. It's again. I ain't never letting go.
Chin down in 4, 3, 2, 1. 30-second climb coming up. Oh, my legs. Did a big leg section yesterday. This is the best way of flushing them out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Decent all the way. Three, 2, 1. 15-second, you know what this has to be? D-man, a stood up sprint. And these are horrible. I'm telling you now. Ready? You just go mad. I'll give you a 30-second break off. So 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go. 3, 2, 1. That was grim. That was horrible. Stay in this resistance 4. Stay in this resistance 4. We're gonna go for the 30-second again, and then the 15-second, and then you are done. Standing up once again. You can bring that pace down a touch. 30-second climb. 3, 2, 1. Let's do this. Eyes and then prizes. Three, 2, 1. 2 stood-up sprints. 15 seconds on, 15 seconds off, 15 seconds on, then you are done. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh, let's do this. We've only got 2 of these because it's not fair to give you any more. 3, 2, 1. Sit it down. That's us right now. Ready to go again. Final 1. We go in. 4, ready. 3, ready. 2, and 1. Let's do it. This is it, all the way. Just grinding it out.
You like it? I love it.
You got a final 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And breathe. Take that resistance down for me, D-man. Take it all the way down. And breathe. Let's put something chilled on. Let's get these bad boys in. I know you want them. Let's just flush out those legs by just giving them a bit of movement. That was epic. And the big old finisher there. As always, just keep those legs moving. Just roll those shoulders back gently. And forward. Head up to one side. And the other. Nice, and grab your hands in front of you. Slowly start to get into your back. Now you're going to stand up for me. Slowly bring those legs to a standstill. Pushing those heels down, pushing your bum back. Now let's get into those ankles and everything, spinning around the other way, doing that same thing. Sweet, from there, taking your arms up to the ceiling, to the sky, bring them all the way around into that heart center where you're going to give yourself a big old round of applause, sending all my love for one epic class that was a tough class as well. As always, team, making sure we're pressing pause and save so you compare your workouts against the other one, and making sure you're following us and the team on social media as well. Joining our Facebook community group. Thank you for joining me for an epic, fast and fun session on Motosumo team. You guys are legends. I will see you later. Ben done.